whether you agree and whether this is effective. Take a look.
Hey there, Chris Murphy.
Chris Murphy.
It's been a very long day today, full of a lot of bullshit, a lot of threats to democracy.
So tonight I want to talk about Signalgate and what a colossal fuck up this is in terms of our national security.
Which to divert people from the number one issue we have against these bastards. Sorry, these people.
Yeah. So three U.S. senators, and one of whom is the minority leader. More and more, off-color words. I'm a big fan of swearing, as my audience knows. It only works if it comes organically to you. This did not seem organic at all. Chuck Schumer seemed uncomfortable actually saying it there. But my own belief, Jordan, is that this is their belief.
Because they know like saying these words is a bit divisive. Like they talk about us being divisive, but you're calling the other side bastards, fuck ups. It's like, come on now. Where you think this is going to go? Like, where you think this is leading to? Like, we're catching y'all. Y'all trying to push the Civil War by getting the extreme left to view the MAGA as their enemies or as an extreme group trying to take the rights away. We see what you're doing, and it won't prosper. Trust me, it won't. You evil bastards.
Of how to win young men back.
Well, that's a topic well worth delving into, partly because it would also enable us to talk a little bit about what's happening hypothetically on what is hypothetically described as the right. So I guess there's a number of people who have influenced young men in a more conservative direction. And I'm one of them, and Ben Shapiro is another, and Andrew Tate is a third. And I warned people back in 2016 that if they kept making men weak, that there would be a consequence of that, because weak men do very terrible things. They turn, for example, for their models to people like Andrew Tate. Now, the reason I'm bringing that up in relationship to the clips that you showed me is because you put together 3 clips that are predicated on the assumption that masculinity has this kind of brusque, pushy, I don't give a damn if I swear on national TV because I'm so tough kind of men to it. And it's very easy for weak men to assume that power is the defining.
No, I mean, usually it's about you not really caring what people think about you. That's why people are usually loose with their mouths or all that, or they curse a lot because they just don't care. Me, I try not to. I try my best not to. I try to come up with different words. I try not to use so much swearing and all that good stuff. I try. But I will say this, it's not colorful language when you're just swearing every sentence. Now, is it every sentence? Is that really the way you want to come off? As I don't know, like lack of better words, a potty mouth. Like, come on, how are people even going to sit down and watch you? I mean, even the old people is going to sit down and watch if you're cursing every sentence. You ain't even cursing on emphasis reasons. It is cursing to curse.
Finding characteristic of a respectable man, like an actually masculine man. And that's what Andrew Tate, at least in part, purports to sell his audience. So now Andrew Tate is a very bad actor.
Is he? All right, bro. Why is everybody hating on this dog, bro? Everybody hating on Tate. That's all I can say. They're hating. They're hating on this man and his brother at this point. I just don't get it. Because this is like, dog, it's not my fault that you don't look like masculinity, Jordan Peterson. It's not my fault, okay? It's not my fault that this man gets to be 6'3" with the muscles and the bad bitches in the cars. It's like, I'm sorry, but you don't look as masculine as Andrew Tate. It's like your message don't hit hard to the youth as Andrew Tate. And you're a smart guy. I'm not saying you don't have no good messages, but if we talking about who cooking more, that boy Tate is definitely cooking more. I'm sorry to say that. I'm just saying. I mean, is it his sayings that get spread across TikTok or yours? I thought so. Even if you don't like the man. Now, I have my disagreements with him too, but not enough to have this hatred towards him. Like, oh, no man should listen to him and all that. I'll be like, well, I would say this. Just like most of these red pill guys, you shouldn't take them at 100%. That's it. You should understand that some things work for them, and there's things that they tell you that works universally. Like, I don't know, getting money, working out, having good character, I mean, being stoic. Those are things that works out universally for a man. Now, Andrew Tate and his multiple baby mamas all over, that's a personal thing.
So now Andrew Tate is a very bad actor, to say the least. He's a pimp, an electronic pimp. And I think pimps are possibly the lowest form of male life.
I mean, bro, he ran a webcam service. I get it. That's hating. It's hating. Bro, the man was able to get women to strip on camera for him and got money off it. I don't agree with it. I trust, but that's how he made his money. I've heard of worse ways. I've heard of worse ways that the Dems haven't judged, like drug dealers. I mean, prostitutes. Like, shoot, we celebrating OnlyFans hoes right now. What y'all mad at Tate for? Putting bitches on a webcam before bitches was putting themselves on a webcam?
Because they are parasitic on women. And that's about as bad as you can get if you're a man. Maybe you can get lower because you could be parasitic on children.
I mean, yeah, you can. I mean, bro, you could traffic women, men, children. I mean, there's something worse than pimping, but pimping is up there. I mean, pimping is pretty bad. Now, I'm not talking about you good with women. I'm talking about you literally are emotionally playing on somebody to get them to sell themselves, or you emotionally manipulated them to a point to where they sell themselves for you. Like, yeah, that's a bit reckless. And then when you go even higher to try to get multiple people to sell them to different people, yeah, now, yes, you are below shit. You are the bottom of the barrel. But what Andrew Tate did, which was webcam, what they do right now. So it's not like webcamming is illegal. It's not like webcamming is degenerate, but it's not wrong.
But being parasitic on women, that's pretty bad. And he's taught his followers how to be this, Playboy Lothario type of love him and leave him, do it my way or hit the goddamn highway sort of attitude. And,
now here's the problem. Nobody supports Andrew Tate's webcam thing. I think even his brother came out and said, bro, I don't even like the fact that I did that back in the day. But I mean, here's also the thing though. It's like, shit, it was legal. It's not like they did anything illegal to make their first couple $1 million. And they do say, yo, this is not something that this is not something that I would tell men to do. I gotta respect that. They're pretty much going back to a time saying that, yeah, we made millions of dollars off this, but we do have our regrets. I mean, that's admirable to me. Now, if they're going like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and teach other men to do it, which they don't, then yes, I would have my qualms. I'd be like, hey, yo, this is degenerate. Like, I don't think we should be teaching men to put women on webcams. But they didn't do that.
If you've been demoralized your entire life and you haven't been attractive to women and you're not doing well in your career and you're very disoriented and you've had no role models at all, then someone who has all the trappings of surface success like Andrew Tate and who's very good at flaunting it can look like just the medicine you need. And
now, like I said, Jordan Peterson, are you mad that you don't got the muscles, the cars with the women and nice houses? Like I said, he walks how he talks it. Like, just like Jordan Peterson. I say Jordan Peterson also walks how he talks it. They're just two separate people. But like I said, it's like always these I guess the Christian side who overly judges what I guess the Playboy side does. And when they both agree on the same exact shit, Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson agree on a lot. 90%. It's kind of funny that they hone in on Tate's lifestyle or his old lifestyle to kind of have a disagreement with him. Otherwise, they're agreeing with this man all day. Well, okay, maybe not on his stance on Israel and Palestine, because he has some pretty strong stances on that.
And to give the devil his due, I can understand why men who have nothing would at least want to have something. And I can see that Andrew Tate offers that to them. And that is not any advocacy for Andrew Tate, as I've already made my view of him very clear. Now, the left likes to think that Andrew Tate and me, for example, are gateways to the alt-right and that somehow we're the same. And we're not the same at all. And what I'm offering young men...
y'all speak on the same things. So when you like to say you're not the same, but I mean, y'all kind of are. Like when y'all talk is like you'd say, oh, men should better themselves. Men should suffer. If you suffer as a man, you'll be a better man. This is both things y'all both say. Like I could low-key play motivational content from Andrew Tate, motivational content from Jordan Peterson, and they'll damn near sound alike.
Man is a pathway to adulthood through responsibility, not through the exercise of power. Now, if you're powerful and you're strong and you're forthright and you're articulate, then you can harness all that power into your responsibility, and that can make you an even better man. But if you weaken men, they will 100%, they'll become nihilistic.
I'm weak. I'm sorry, that's funny. All right, shout out my man AJ says, to me, the Tate brothers are fast food and Jordan Peterson is like white rice and chicken breast. Both are a form needed to nourish men. Yeah, both are forms needed to nourish men. It's like, yeah, I mean, you could take your brass way of it, which is Andrew Tate, or you could take the more sophisticated way of it, which is Jordan Peterson. Honestly, I always do say it depends on your style as a man. What's your style? If you're the more sophisticated style, you will lean more towards Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro, and them. If you are more towards, I mean, Tate style, you're going to lean towards Tate, his brother, Brandon Carter, and the rest. And I mean, what's that one? Justin Waller. You're going to lean more towards them. It's just your style and who you are personally. So I do not like when these guys attack each other when they low-key agree on a lot of things.
They'll become hedonistic and they'll worship power.
Oh, hold on, man. Appreciate the support, my brother, man. Shout out AJ, man. Appreciate the support, dog.
And Andrew Tate is exactly the face of power worship. And you can bloody well expect to see a lot more of that coming down the pipes. And if the Democrats are daft enough to turn to a power representation of masculinity because they're too foolish to understand the relationship, let's say, between responsibility and proper masculinity, then they deserve exactly what's coming to them. And what'll come to them is no increase whatsoever in their approval rating among young men, because anyone with a clue can see through what they're doing in 15 seconds flat. But
I mean, see, that's what I'm saying. I don't like when these guys talk about Tate because it comes from such a hater position. Like, bro, we could go on Rumble right now. This man's the most watched man on Rumble. This man will have one of the most listened to voices on TikTok. Bro, you can upload something with Tate right now. It does numbers. This is the problem, though. It's like, bro, stop. I mean, look, why don't y'all talk to this man yourselves? Y'all doing all this shooting behind this man's back. He's in America. Bro, talk to the man. Why don't y'all bring him up here and have that conversation and grill him on his points then? Because y'all won't. Because he's gonna cook y'all ass, to be honest with you. Whoops. He's gonna cook them. In my honest opinion, I think Andrew Tate would cook Jordan Peterson on all of his points. Everything you have against this man is like, bro, one, he's already talked about the whole webcam thing. And back in the day, okay, he's moved on to better things. Two, what is this man does to radicalize young men? Because here's the thing, they put the same thing on you, Jordan Peterson. So who are you to talk if the media spins you as the same person? You trying to separate yourself from Tate does nothing because your message is still aligned.
They'll also do nothing but promote people like Andrew Tate, and then we'll have serious trouble. That's for sure.
You know, it's interesting because I listened to a bunch.
Oh, and shout out to my man Alan. Because of my man Alan, we are now 11 super chats away from the Ian Carroll and what was it? Yeah, my bad. The Ian Carroll, Alex Jones breakdown of Epstein files, which was a pretty good one. Trust me. They even broke down the top billionaires involved in this scandal. It was pretty good. But we are 11 away.
Of leftists talk about this issue in recent weeks because I'm curious to see what they think the problem is. And many, if not all, blame President Trump. They think he's, a bully. He swears occasionally. He's not nice to people. They think he's bad to women. And then Elon gets dumped in there for good measure too, as same on all those fronts. And once again, Jordan, I think they've totally misunderstood what it is about Trump, and for that matter, Elon, that is drawing young men to them. I don't think it has anything to do with Trump and his behavior toward women 30 years ago. And I don't think it's Trump's occasional dropping of a swear.
Oh, and guys, This was gonna hurt y'all feelings, guys. It's gonna hurt y'all feelings about Andrew Tate. Can you guys prove that he did human trafficking? You can't. Not even the Romanians can prove it. And guess what? If Americans look into it, it'll also be disproven. The UK looked into it, was disproven. So what human trafficking? No charges have been brought on them for human trafficking. Like, that's the craziest thing. No conviction, no nothing. They've been held up on human trafficking with no evidence to be presented. None. I mean, please go look up the evidence for yourself. I promise you, there is none. There's nothing substantial that proves that these guys were human traffickers. And then here's the thing. You're telling me Playboy millionaires need a human traffic on the internet, though. They make themselves high profile internet personalities, and they're going to start trafficking? Bro, really? Make it make sense, bro. Y'all really got to make that one make sense. And if you can't find evidence, then trust me, you just believe the media's lies about Andrew Tate. That's it. That's all it is. I mean, if your only stance on him is a human trafficker, I mean, then I ain't gonna lie, you hate the man for no reason.
Although I do think that makes him seem much more relatable to, especially the working class. You know, that's how folks talk. That's how I talk too, frankly. But I think it makes him more relatable as opposed to a Mitt Romney who's just perfectly buttoned up and.
Yeah, and like a Jordan Lee Peterson who's perfectly buttoned up. It's like, bro, Andrew Tate, like I said, there's your sophisticated guys, and then there's your more rugged guys that kind of lean into that Andrew Tate, and that's what the problem is. I don't think Jordan Peterson grew up from the bottom. I don't think my man grew up in poverty. Tate grew up in poverty. So all the guys from the slums, all the guys from the ghettos and the projects and all that good stuff, we can relate to the man. We can relate to Tate way more than we can relate to Jordan Peterson because Tate has lived some part of our life in poverty. I don't think Jordan Peterson's ever had that experience, to be honest with you. And if he has, he don't dress like it, or he don't talk like it. And if he has, I think I'll be even more impressed with him because I'll be like, damn, you don't dress or talk like it. I'm impressed. But that's also a reason why. It's their lifestyles. One came from a good upbringing, one came from a terrible upbringing. And guess which one making more money, though? The one that came from a terrible upbringing making more money than Jordan Peterson. So he's even more of an inspiration to young men than Jordan Lee Peterson. Yeah, this is what you guys got to understand here. Y'all got to build them up, stack them up together, and see which one's a more inspirational story. Well, if you are a fan of Andrew Tate or Jordan Peterson, you got to realize that, well, I ain't gonna lie, the Academy Award winning story goes to Tate.
Smoothed out. And, you know, there's less to sort of grab onto, less grit. Elon is incredibly successful, which I think everyone can respect, but he's not out there. I don't know. Maybe he's a little pugilistic these days because he's in it and he's getting punched so often. But can you speak to that? Why do you think the left thinks that what's happening on the right with respect to some admiration for Andrew Tate, et cetera, is really the fault of Donald Trump? That's how they interpret it, these toxically masculine guys are the product of Trumpism.
Well, it's partly because the left doesn't have a vision of responsible masculinity. So it's either, soy boy or bully. That's their whole theory of masculinity. And if you shouldn't be a bully because that's the worst. And actually, that's not the worst. If you think bully is the worst, you know very little about worst. There's abysses of hell that make bully look like paradise. And the Democrats, the progressives, are very naive in their conceptualization of malevolence and evil. Like, they tend to think that bad people are victims. It's like,
yeah,
that's because
you ever seen all the movies, the glorification of all the villains? Like, we start making movies for villains now. Trying to make everybody feel bad for the villain. And then all of a sudden, all these illegal immigrants, criminals, and all that good stuff. Oh, they want to try to give y'all that same sympathy I had for the villains in the movies towards them. Not saying that they did this on purpose, but it does look, it is a little suspicious. That's all.
In their world, bad people don't exist. And in my world, bad people exist, and I know what they're like. And bully is a pretty desirable form of bad person compared to the real monsters. Mm-hmm. And the Democrats just have no clue of that at all. And so they don't know what sort of man boy would admire if he was.
You know what? Like, unknown, I hear you, but really think about, we're talking about your son, right? You're talking about your son. Everybody, let's talk about our son real quick. Now, if you had a son and they turned out like Andrew Tate, would you really be mad? Would you really be mad? I mean, they're in shape, they're successful, He ain't never hit no woman or anything like that. I mean, speaks well on camera. Shit, I don't know. I wouldn't be too mad. I have my disagreements, but that's it. I mean, we all disagree with how some of our siblings live, and we don't hate them for that. So if you're telling me the only thing my son is doing is, I don't know, being a playboy with women, but he's handling every other thing, I'll be okay with that. I would hate the opposite. I would hate the opposite. If you ask me for the opposite, I'd be like, nah, just make him a playboy millionaire than him being a broke boy. I'd rather playboy millionaire son. I'll be okay.
Set on the right path because, well, for example, they think marriage is a patriarchal, oppressive institution. And so a man who's willing to offer himself as a husband and a father, well, he's just another bloody oppressor, isn't he?
I mean, from that standpoint, they should love Elon, given his failure to marry and have a bunch of kids.
Well, it is one of the paradoxical things about Elon too. Like, he's a very weird conservative. So he's not a conservative, and neither is Trump, obviously.
Neither is Trump.
No, and also, by the way, the divide in our society is no longer between left and right. Those categories don't even make any sense anymore, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, one of the Democrats whose video you posted earlier pointed out that, increasingly the Democrats are the party of women. And that's part of what's happening is we're actually seeing a sex divide in terms of political affiliation, but it's not because the women are becoming left and the men becoming right. It's because the left is now feminine and the right is now masculine. And the political distinctions have become virtually undetectable and irrelevant.
It does seem like with your testosterone levels, you do lean a little bit. Higher testosterone levels mean you lean more conservative. Low testosterone levels mean you lean more liberal. It does seem to be that. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry, it does. Like, come on now. The liberals be a bunch of baby face little toddlers. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all are adorable.
Old categories don't work. Now, it isn't only that the left has become feminine and the right has become masculine, but that's a big part of what's driving the strangeness of today's
facts. See, shout out to my man AJ. Man, he says, look, Rogan taught me I'm not my past mistakes, which is a bomb. I ain't gonna lie. That I remember that hit me. That hit me hard too, my friend. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Peterson taught me to enjoy responsibilities. Facts. Part of being a man, you should be able to enjoy being a man is enjoying your responsibilities. And Tate taught me not to be a simp. All play a very important role. That's what I'm saying. They all play an important role in I ain't gonna lie, your development as a man in a way. Like, you cannot apply yourself 100% to their ideology because you're not them. You lived a way different lifestyle than them, grew up in a probably economic class than them. You got to take whatever applies to you. So when you hear them, whatever strikes you, that's what you take. It's kind of like a feeling. It's the vibe. You feel me?
Political discourse, because it's also the case that the Democrats have become pathologically feminine, and that's not the same thing as becoming feminine.
No,
now the Democrats will say, well, the Republicans have become pathologically masculine, and there is a danger of that. Like Andrew Tate's the face of pathological masculinity, and you can see that.
Wow, pathological masculinity. I would like him to explain that one. Pathological masculinity. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all need to explain this a little bit better. And how does he represent this? Like, what is he telling men to go do? What? 500 push-ups a day is pathological? I mean gonna lie. If you're doing 500 push-ups a day, god damn, you're a crazy man. But you're respected, though. You're respected.
To some degree in Trump, because he likes to throw his weight around, and he's actually very good at it. But fundamentally, like, first of all, you can look at his family. I mean, they're a pretty high-functioning bunch. There's no Hunter Biden in the Trump tribe,
exactly.
And he seems to get along pretty well with his wife, and she seems to be a pretty classy character, and she stays in her lane. And I don't mean that in any misogynist way. I mean that she's got
their deal.
Yeah. Well, and she's got enough humility to play her role well and to be apparently satisfied and grateful for that by all appearances. And so, Trump is a blustery character, and he's definitely got that kind of throw your shoulders around masculinity that is attractive to people who confuse power with masculinity. But he's also, there's a lot more to Trump than that. I mean, he's got a vicious sense of humor. He's got a tremendous amount of energy, and he's been successful at like 5 impossible things, just like Musk. And you can throw that away, as you would if you felt that all forms of capitalist success are just another manifestation of oppressive patriarchy. But, you know, that's a pretty idiot theory, unless you're a progressive leftist.
Well,
Tariff wars, stubborn inflation. No wonder gold has been routinely hitting all-time.
man, he definitely did unload on Andrew Tate. I'll tell you that. That man had no nice words. None. But let's get to the next video, though. I mean, damn, can you even give him a shout out on, I don't know, getting more men to work out? Like, I don't know, getting kids. I mean, I don't know about the Hustle University thing. I've heard good remarks on it, but who knows? Who knows? If you want to take that risk, take that one on your own.
Unbelievable. She continues. Kristi Noem reveals plan to eliminate FEMA. Rob, do you have that one?
I do.
So imagine how much problems we've had with FEMA the last few years, right? She announced elimination at Trump's cabinet meeting, and she boasted, we are in a month of March, the last couple of weeks. Is this the one, Rob?
Yes.
Go for it.
I want to thank the Secretary of Defense and the Navy for all of their help and partnership too. We do operations together because their obvious Navy warships are in certain regions, but our cutters are faster and can work together in a partnership that's securing America. So, and we're going to eliminate FEMA. So we've got a lot to do, but it's all good, and we're working hard, and we're going to make sure that we're continuing to do exactly what you promised.
In a month of March, the last couple of weeks increased our deportations by 50%. We have broken historic records in the amount of drug how do you pronounce that, Rob?
Interdictions, seizures.
Interdictions that have been brought in. She plans to visit El Salvador, Colombia, Mexico to boost deportations. Noem told CNN in February, I would say yes, get rid of FEMA the way it exists today, calling it a bureaucracy.